Hi, and welcome to Thought Arouser. We're continuing in our series, How Did Jesus Do It? Looking at building authentic relationships, life-on-life discipleship, and how that works. Our objective in this session will be to explore the importance of authentic relationships, understanding how Jesus built deep personal connections with his disciples so we can emulate this in our own lives. We have 5 key points to discuss. The first of which is Jesus' relational approach. When you stop and think about it, when you look at the narrative with people in mind, we find that Jesus spent significant time with his disciples, sharing meals, traveling together, engaging in everyday life. Jesus did life with his disciples. Think about what you know of Bible stories of the life of Christ, where they were, what they did together. Even after the Last Supper, they sang a hymn together. They walked to the garden. All kinds of things. We'll discuss how these shared experiences allowed Jesus to teach through words and actions and his example. The second will be the power of authenticity. Authenticity is a big word today. It means just being real, authentic in who and what we are. And Jesus demonstrated authenticity by showing compassion, by expressing emotions. One of the first that might come to mind would be weeping at Lazarus' tomb in John 11. He shared his heart with his disciples in John 15. He was moved, became angry when he saw what happened to the temple, supposed to be a house of prayer. We can follow his examples by being genuine in our relationships. Authenticity fosters trust as we grow spiritually, and we will discuss how authenticity fosters trust and the role of trust in bringing someone along in their walk with God. Sometimes it's like a greenhouse, particularly at first with a new Christian. Sheltered, protected, making sure that there's frequent waterings, not over-watering. Lots of sunshine, but not too much sunshine. And then as they grow and mature, then they come to be out in the open more. A good thing. Our third item is intentional investment. This is huge here in the Vibrance community, that intentionality. It's the opposite of haphazard, reckless, unplanned. To truly disciple requires intentionality, investing time, investing energy, and investing love into other people's lives. There's a temptation, particularly in professional ministry, to go easy on the love aspect of it. Jesus didn't do that. He prioritized his time with the 12 over the crowds. I'd like for us to spend a little time talking about this adage, more is caught than taught, and see if we think it's really true. I'll tip my hat. I'm not sure it's as true as we might want it to be. Without intentionality, we risk them catching all the wrong stuff, and that's not what we want at all. Intentional investment leads to deeper connections and transformation in others' lives. It costs more, yes, but the return on effort, the ROE, is much, much higher. It is so worth it. Fourthly, balancing grace and truth. Jesus balanced grace and truth in his relationships. Look at John 1, verse 14. Someone has said, and this is a near quote, not a full quote, that when we speak only the truth, we risk not being very loving. And when we speak only in love, we risk not being completely truthful. The two need to be balanced, and grace and truth is a similar duo. Jesus corrected his disciples when necessary. He rebuked Peter, the Pharisees, the others he was in contact with, but he rebuked them. He corrected them. And at the same time, he extended grace and patience as they grew. We're going to spend a little time thinking about ways to emulate this balance in our discipleship relationships. Lastly, we're going to discuss the role of community. There's a lot of talk in large churches these days about the importance of the small group, the life group, the discipleship group. Some churches function as a group large enough, but not so large that you have to have other systems in place to keep the personal contact. Jesus formed a community where his disciples would learn from each other. For an example of that, go to Mark chapter 9, beginning at verse 33. We're going to spend a little time this week. I hope we have time to discuss the importance of fostering a sense of belonging. We have to work at that. It needs to be intentional as well. And that mutual encouragement, one with the other, some great words early in the life of the church. Acts chapter 2, they devoted themselves to fellowship is in there. Community is in there. Vibrance. It includes mutual encouragement within a group setting. Think this week about Jesus' relationship with his disciples. How did that relational approach impact them? And what lessons can we learn from it? What does authenticity look like in your relationships? How would you like for it to look after it matures a little bit more? How can it help build trust? Who has intentionally invested in your spiritual growth? How did their examples shape you? And how can you balance grace and truth when discipling, mentoring others? All right, give it some thought, some serious thought. No major assignment, but this can help us grow and deepen. We'll talk about it more.